Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, to me, is an amazing remake. Probably one of the best looking game out there in 2026. And also probably a saving grace for Ubisoft. Since I guess there's been a lot of up and down within the company itself, which is a topic for another time. But there are some flaws here and there in this remake I'm going to talk about in this video. Please do understand that this is my review of the game, in my own opinion, by the way. It doesn't have to be objectively agreeable. Just my personal preference and my personal take when it's come to this remake. I hope you are enjoying my review. Alright, let's get going. The graphics. You know, I kind of doubted Ubisoft when I heard the news that they were going to remake Black Flag. Like, I was scared to kind of screw up a lot from the original, especially the art direction of the game, and just make a quick cash grab. But thank God I was wrong. The graphics in this game are simply breathtaking, bro. Like, we're talking about the lightning, the atmosphere, the underwater, the weather, etc, etc. Pretty much everything about it is so damn good. By far one of the best looking games in 2026. Albeit, I understand that it does lose a bit of charm from the original game, especially the old art direction it was going for. But I'd rather prefer seeing this, like AC4 world design, but with this type of graphic. Oh, it's just breathtaking, man. Never in my life have I enjoyed walking around Havana or anywhere else in this games while it's raining. Oh my God, don't get me started with the rain in this game, man, because it's literally my favorite weather, and just it's top tier. I love how even after it stopped raining, it's still a lot of, I don't know what it's called, leftover raindrop. I mean, just look at this. Whew, should be timber, man. The environment in this game are also a big improvement over the original. I love how all the vegetation, like grass, trees, look so much greener and more lively, and less dull from the original. It's really stand out whenever you're exploring or running around on an island. Not to mention, every outfit now have a proper realistic color physics. Like, god damn, bro, look at this. Oh, Ubisoft. You know how mad I was when in the original, my favorite outfit, the pirate cloth, has one of the crappiest cloth physics ever. Like, what even is this, Ubisoft? Stuff like the particle effect is also great, especially the effects in combat whenever I'm trying to parry or fire my pistol. Oh my god, it felt so awesome, not gonna lie. The character model, damn, it looks so much better compared to the original. I mean, the facial details, body proportions, and I don't know, everything about them just looks stunning. The fact they still kept the old motion capture animation from the original instead of using their, I don't know, weird lifeless robot cutscene.
Assassin's Creed sucks enormous gorilla
really make the whole experience much more enjoyable to watch and play. Not saying the original is bad or anything, but it does feel kind of weird in a way, like seeing all these old motion capture animation on a brand new character models. It is a little bit uncanny, but hey, it still worked nonetheless. But that was only for the story of the game, alright? Outside of the story, yeah, the animation is hit or miss. At least it's a little bit improved, but it's a hit or miss. Not the same old motion capture you see. One thing I absolutely love about this game is the optimization, man. Throughout 2026, I barely saw any freaking game bother to optimize their game in a way let's just say crappy RTX 360 laptop like mine actually plays it smoothly. I would talk about Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata, 007 First Light, Silent Hill 2, and many more. All of these games aren't even open world, and yet they struggle so badly, bro. Even when I'm not recording, those games have never, and I mean never, have a good stable FPS for me. Black Flag Resynced, on the other hand, I don't know what kind of whip crap Ubisoft pull off, but I want them to keep doing this in the future. By far one of the most optimized games I've ever played. But I do hope they fix some of the crashing issues soon. Overall, I think the performance of this game is top tier. And I hope they keep this up for future projects. If other game developers can't even optimize their own game, Ubisoft should be the example here. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you can switch between day and night. You can't do that from the original. Thank you, Ubisoft. And that's pretty much everything for the graphics. Next up is a story. It's a bit short topic, but it's still worth talking about. The story just as you remember from the original, but they do include a bit more context. Like, I'm talking about some additional cutscenes that have been included in this remake to, I guess, flesh out the story itself. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is some that I think that they don't necessarily have to be added in the remake, but there are some that I definitely like and love the most, like especially Thor's Blackbeard's, like after his death there's a tribute cutscene, you know, adding a little more emotion to the story after his death, which is amazing. I love it. I love that we have a cutscene like this.
Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain. For we may or might never all meet here again.
It's awesome. And then we got Steve on it. We don't really know what happened to him after we finished the main story. But I'm glad Resynced added some like extra side quests to him, you know, a dedicated story to him. Which is nice. I respect Ubisoft for that. Last but not least, I'm going to mention is this is one new cutscene between Caroline and Edward. It's cute, it's wholesome, and like the scene where he just giving her chocolate, and you know, they have a talking between the relationship. It's amazing. I love that Ubisoft care for them. I love that Ubisoft care to have extra stuff to it, but albeit the animation isn't top tier like the original, because come on, this is Ubisoft we're talking about. They can't upgrade. They can only stay either balanced or downgrade. But I think the point that is they care, and that's more important. Oh, the voice acting in this remake is a hit or miss. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but I can't say it's like excellent than the original. The original had more charm and more emotional compared to the remake, but you know, I don't mind at all because they had to like revoice everything, had to recast new voice actor for new cutscene and new side quests. That I can understand. I just know that they try. But at least try harder in the next game. That's what I could say. But at least one thing they did fix with the story is the trailing mission. But they didn't rework or remove it. Rather, you can just skip it entirely if you hate the trailing mission just as much as I do. Like just, you know, just stab him to death or destroy him. I don't know. It's probably the best thing they ever done to fix this trailing mission problem. I almost forgot to mention, in the original AC4, they also have, which is a DLC expansion for two characters, Aveline and Adewale, which Resynced doesn't have. But I do hope they make those DLC story expansion soon in the future, if they even remember they exist. And that's everything I want to talk about regarding the story. There's still more, but I'll leave those topics for later on in the video. The parkour in this game, I know you guys are going to throw a lot of tomatoes at me, but is kind of great, but not as great as Unity or the older AC games. This is gonna be a long talk, but I hope you can stick around and listen to me yap about it. You see, they didn't use the original system. Instead, they used the Origin parkour system. Basically, this game parkour is both Mirage and Shadow combined into one. Now you see, I was never a big fan of the Origin parkour mechanic because it feels too sticky in a way. After Unity, I never played any newer Assassin's Creed games other than Mirage, so I'll use Mirage as an example as to why I don't really like this version of the parkour. But I do think there could have been some improvements if Ubisoft at least try. Like, here's the pictures I want to show you guys so you know what I mean. So I'll take it as an example from AC1 to Unity. So how they moved back in the old AC games is they go up and down, up and down, up and down, non-stop, right? They never pause, and they jump down and assassinate this guy. And now we'll jump to Origin to Mirage. I would take Basim as an example here. So how did they do it in this newer AC game? The parkour system, I mean, is that they go up, all right, they jump up and then they down, but they didn't go up immediately. They pause for, I guess, a nano or milliseconds, like 5 to 10 millisecond or 5 to 10 nanosecond, and after that they can actually perform another jump, and they go down and they pause again for I don't know how many seconds. I mean, at that point the Templars already know, like, oh my goodness, guys, so bad, and just go and walk away. At this point, Mirage just during that time, Mirage already jumped and then paused, and then he didn't even have time to assassinate. Just, wow, I mean, terrible games. We're talking about Assassin's Creed 1 all the way to Revelation. These parkour systems are way more responsive and give player much more freedom. Like, you have so much control over your movement. Low profile and high profile are some of the best freaking system Ubisoft have ever made. And it's sad to see them gone in the newer Assassin's Creed, like they completely forgot about it. Every time you do a straight parkour sequence, sure, the animation might be stiff and all, but they never give you that sticky feeling. You just jump and jump and jump. You don't jump, stick for a bit, and then jump again. What make the parkour feel so fluent? Everything flows together smoothly. I mean, if Ubisoft back then give more freedom to this parkour system, I think it might just look like this. Holy guacamole. The second version I'm going to talk about is from Assassin's Creed 3 all the way to Black Flag. Yes, I'm also counting roads, but whatever. It's still similar to the old one, but some of the control have been stripped away, leaving you with just a single button for parkour and a lot more, you know, lean to automation. Sometimes it's so damn hard to perform eject move. I have a lot of moments where I couldn't even freely side check in AC4. I don't think AC3 had this problem, but even then it still worked great because once again there's no stickiness whenever you perform a series of jumping across a plank or pole or whatever it's called. Now Unity is a different story. It's revolutionized the parkour system. It wasn't trying to be the same as the old Assassin's Creed game. It had its own identity, bro. Like, we got a modern parkour up, parkour down, modern side eject, back eject. Everything about it just feel like you're going back to the old Assassin's Creed parkour, but with newer mechanic and system that make the movement feel so fresh, man. Like, you still get all the freedom from the old system while also having new movement mechanic to learn. No, I wouldn't talk about Syndicate because I never play it. From what I've seen, it's pretty much the same, but they kind of butchered a lot. Sure, it isn't realistic. Sometimes Arnold feels like he's flying across the map like a Superman or something. But do we forget?
It's a f***ing video game.
We play game to have fun. I don't want realism in my damn parkour, dog. Until Origin came along and ruined all the fun I have in Unity. Thank you, Ubisoft. But over time, Ubisoft did manage to flesh out the Origin parkour system with each new games. Like, don't take this as a compliment, by the way. They literally have one of the best parkour system ever with Unity, but they never use it again. Still to this day, it's actually make me sad. Like, we could have had all these newer Assassin's Creed game with parkour system just as amazing in Unity. Okay, I need to stop blazing. This is getting a bit too much. Anyway, I actually kind of enjoying doing parkour in this remake. I think it might even top the original, because if you ever, and I mean ever, play AC4, you know what I mean. The parkour itself is a bit weird, to say the least. Sometimes when you do a manual jump, it would just kind of does a tiny hop, just a tiny hop instead of full jump. Also, the side check in the originals are horrendous, horrible, bad. I hate it. Like, bad check work fine, but whenever you're trying to do side check, it would just like he just hesitate, like he's afraid he's gonna break his leg or his hand or something. Like, the side check doesn't freaking work most of the time. The best part is that you can't even do this in Resynced. The man, like, bruh, come on, Ubisoft, get it together, man. But what really make the original stand out compared to the remake is the camera and the sense of weight into it. Let me explain. It's gonna be another long talk, part 2. Bear with me, alright? Can you spot the difference between the older Assassin's Creed game and the newer Assassin's Creed game? A, is it the gameplay? Or B, the parkour? C, the camera? And D, new Ubisoft? Damn, that's a hard question. Let me think. I remember. I picked C. It's my final answer. The camera.
It's the right answer. You just won one.
The thing that make old Ubisoft games, especially game built around mechanic like parkour, climbing, and free running, feels so good, is the camera itself. Throughout Ubisoft history of making third-person games, their camera system has always been, if not one of the best, like definitely one of the most unique part of this whole franchise, like Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs. I might as well count Splinter Cell Conviction. There's some part in it too. Instead of forcing your character to stay on the left side of the screen the entire time like GTA or a lot of other third-person games, Ubisoft designed the camera in a way that actually lets you feel the weight of your character movement while doing parkour. Like, when you start sprinting or doing any kind of maneuver like vaulting or parkour or free run, instead of keeping the characters stuck on the far left of the screen forever, the camera smoothly pan, shift towards the center. Now, why is this important, you might ask? It's because it helps you navigate your surrounding when you're doing all this cool action, you silly douche. When the camera centers itself, you can naturally see both your left and right side much more clearly, making it easier to plan your route before every jump. Like, oh, you want to go left? Like, if you look at the left here, you can see like there's a box or ladder, and like you're instantly like, oh, I'll pick that route. But you see on the right, you see like, oh, there's a box, a vaulting, a fence. I want to do that instead. You can go to the right. It helps you navigate. At the same time, having your character in the center of the screen also make every vault, every climb and jump feel heavier. You can actually feel the momentum of your movement because how the camera follows you around. With some unknown bullcrap reason, Ubisoft completely got rid of this and replaced with the ugly ass left side camera that's stayed there almost the entire time. And honestly, it really hurt my gameplay experience. I mean, look at AC4 parkour. Sure, it can look clunky, but the camera is what make it feel heavy. It make every movement, you know, every step you do feels like it have actual weight to it, especially when combined with the animation variety. Yes, AC4 does have the left side camera too, but only when you're aiming your pistol or simply walking around. The same goes with the other Ubisoft games that I mentioned, like Watch Dogs, which by far have one of, if not the most superior third-person camera system ever made in this entire video game industry. Heck, even Splinter Cell Conviction used this type of system as well, sorta, because it actually worked for those action. Not the entire freaking parkour system, man. Whenever I'm doing parkour and racing, everything feels less weighted, less impactful, less expressive. No more feeling I'm watching a freaking paper doing parkour. And why do I feel that way? It's literally because the freaking camera, man. I generally believe all these problems would have been reduced my anger if they simply keep the damn center camera or make it as an option in the settings.
Why, Ubisoft? Why is always you? Like, seriously?
I don't know anymore. Okay, I need to relax a bit. So, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the parkour. Overall is, it's fine, I guess. That's really all I can say about this parkour system. Ubisoft, you watching this? Please give me a center camera option for the next update. I would rate this game a 10 out of 10 if you gave me that option. I don't want Marta to do the job. I want Ubisoft themselves to do it. Oh, I forgot to say, you can actually do a freaking double jump, by the way. Hopefully they won't pass this, right? They did. Didn't think I end up talking about this for so long, so let's move to the next topic. Ooh, the combat. By far much more challenging and enjoyable than the original. No objection there, because in the original you could literally just tank down everything with almost no effort. Heck, you didn't even have to rely on health upgrade that much. You could survive against like 100 guards with no sweat. Unless you're a game journalist, then that'd be a different story. Anyway, in Resynced, it still functions like the original, but instead of enemies being completely brain dead, they actually fight back much more aggressively. I myself have a bit of hard time getting used to it on my first playthrough compared to the original. Perfect berries has never felt so satisfying. It's actually rewarding you for pulling them off. Not to mention, we also have a dedicated dodge button now. You can dodge like you're playing Dark Souls, but I don't know. But either way, it is an awesome feature to have. Look, I know in the original we did have the dodge feature, but it's strictly for heavy enemy attack, and you couldn't even do it freely. Oh, and of course there's also a button to put on your hood. For the first time ever in this damn franchise, we finally have a button to put our hood up or down. Jesus, it took them this long. How many years was it? 18 years! But after a while, once you learn how everything works, it's just as easy as the original, albeit a bit tiny harder. Overall, I enjoy the combat a lot more. Big up to Ubisoft. Oh, and they made looting a lot easier now. But, do you think that's everything? Nuh-uh. There's something about this combat that actually less superior than the original. Let me show you what I mean. Can you get what it is? Gameplay variety. Compared to the original, Resynced stripped down literally 90% of the animation and gameplay variety. We're talking about the ability to use fists, hidden blades, and even pick up enemies' weapons like a single sword, axes, even a musket. All the finisher that wasn't even present in the remake. Heck, even the freaking rope dart have a finisher. Now don't get me wrong, even though the gameplay in Resynced is objectively better, that doesn't necessarily mean is it that fun as the original. Having weapon varieties give players the freedom to, explore, to experiment and try new things like, oh, today I don't feel like using swords. I want to use only the hidden blade in combat and stab everyone. Or I could just fisting every guard in Havana like a madman. Wait, that sounds kind of wrong. But you get what I mean. A whole little finisher is what made the action in the original stand out more. Heck, you can't even perform double assassination with swords or fists anymore. You can't even do air assassination with swords or fists either. To this day, I still can't understand why Ubisoft stripped those ability away. Being able to pull up your hidden blade and use them freely in combat or anything was one of the coolest things you could do in an older Assassin's Creed game. I'm just saying, I guess maybe that's too much work for them. That's why they don't want to add it. But hey, if you don't care about variety and prefer a more simpler sword fighting system with a few kicks here and there, I'm not judging. You do what you like to. Stealth in this remake is also great too. I mean, it's a big improvement over the original. You finally have a dedicated crouch button, which helps the stealth gameplay so much more, like make it way more enjoyable. I mean, they obviously took it from Shadow, which I never play and probably never will, but you gotta admit, it's something I always wish we have in the original. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about the combat and stealth. Let's move on to the next topic. Sailing in this remake is just as good as you remember from the original. Nothing really changed that much, to be honest, other than the stunning graphics and lightning that enhanced the whole sailing experience out in the middle of the ocean. But there's something worth talking about that I haven't mentioned in this video yet. The ability to freely dive underwater. This is not to make grown man cry. Like, I never thought it would go this far with the remake. In the original, the only way you can go underwater was through these underwater shipwreck mission. You never had the freedom to just dive underwater whenever you wanted to. I get it was because of the technical limitation back then, so they couldn't really do it. In Resynced, they literally had to build an entire underwater world from scratch, or I guess recreate the whole underwater environment, and I couldn't be happier. It really fleshed out the entire world of Black Flag, making it feel much bigger, more open for exploration. It's technically encouraged players to actually go out and explore every corner of the map. Probably one of the best additions they ever make in this game remake, and I absolutely love it. There's also this pathfinder feature, which is great because it's basically steer the wheel for me, so I don't have to do anything other than just look around the ocean. Pretty nice feature to have. But also work on foot too, you ever get lost, but whatever. And of course, gone from the day where you had to go through a damn loading screen just to get to Havana or back out to the sea, because everything is now one part of the seamless world with seamless transition. Bye bye loading screen. But I don't understand why they didn't have a freaking button to stop the sea shanty. Like what? Like why the heck does the original have it but not Resynced? As much as I enjoy sea shanty in this game, there are times when I just want to listen to the sound of the ocean and the waves. Typical Ubisoft, bro. Always strip away useful features. Naval combat is also, the same thing as always. but to me it feels a bit much faster and more responsive. I don't know, I really can't remember exactly how I feel about the naval combat in the original anymore, but in Resynced it feels like a nice little improvement that helped, you know, me or people around from getting bored during long naval battles.
What else do you do in Assassin's Creed? Well, I'm glad you asked. There is actually
A lot, donkey, I think.
Epic treasure!
Well, for starter, you got collectible viewpoints, chests, assassin contracts, you know, pretty much every side activity that exists in the original is in here. But Ubisoft also added a few more side activities that I wanted to list out for you guys. You got Anomaly, which are like online quests where you have to complete specific objective to earn anomaly currency, whatever that called, that you can like, exchange for a reward. And basically your typical battle pass. I mean, they just do whatever at this point. Even microtransaction is in this game, but hey, these are optional. They don't force you to do it. If you like to do it, then do it. If you don't like it, then don't like it. So I don't even know what to say anymore. There's also completion lists where you complete specific tasks to earn a reward. Then there's our new side story like the Manners, Templar Hunt, Animus Rift, which honestly look awesome, but I just don't like it because I hate how they handle the modern day story. But that's a topic for another video. And last but not least, Steve Bonnet. Maybe even more side quest story that I haven't discovered yet. Oh, there's also an ongoing event where Ubisoft hide treasure that doesn't appear in the map, so you and everyone else playing Black Fat Resynced have to figure out where it is yourself, which is pretty awesome. Really keep the community, you know, alive. And that's pretty much it for the new side content. There's probably more, but this is as far as I know what's actually new and what isn't. I think there's still a lot of flaws within this remake, but overall I think Ubisoft did a good job remaking this game, albeit with a lot of removed features that kind of strip away part of the full experience, which does frustrate a lot of fans, like everything I mentioned so far in this video. But it's still good enough to return to a game that you used to love as a kid. Heck, it's also good enough to bring new fans to experience what the older Assassin's Creed story were like. As for my rating, I'll probably give it an 8 out of 10. 1 point off because the camera and how the parkour feels, which I don't appreciate it at all. And another point off because of the lack of the gameplay variety, which stripped away part of what made the combat so fun. But everything else is perfect as it is. Do I think it could remake the original? I really don't think so. I mean, the remake is great, but it had a lot of flaws. But that doesn't mean you have to force yourself to play the original. I think instead of telling everyone to play the original instead of the remake, how about letting the game speak for itself? Do you want to try the original or do you want to try the remake? It's all up to you and your own decision. Like, don't let other people force you to play one or the other. You can always choose whichever ones you want to play first. If you prefer a game with better graphics, better combat, more content and more things to explore, but don't mind losing some of the gameplay variety, having slightly weaker voice acting and few other flaws, then go with the remake. Or if you prefer a more OG experience with better gameplay variety and a stronger storytelling and amazing emotional voice acting, but don't mind missing out on the remake new content. Even if the graphics are a bit outdated, it still holds up today, then by all means go with the original. In the end, both games tell the same story. Whichever one you prefer, just go with your heart, man. To me, Resynced it's just like the original Black Flag, like the one we all grew up with. But you can always give the original a try. You missed that feeling. Just play whatever you feel like playing. Don't let others make the decision for you. Like, you should be the one giving yourself that choice and no one else. And that's my review on Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. I hope you guys enjoy the videos. This is my first time I ever put so much effort into reviewing a game. You like this video? Do give it a like and a share. It's always more than enough for me. It would encourage me a lot and give me some motivation to do this type of content more in the future, because at this point onward, I'm currently shifting my channel content, you know, trying to make something more unique instead of just boring gameplay video. You don't have to subscribe, by the way, just do what you feel like to. If this video somehow blow up, I might make more videos about this franchise in the future. Especially, there's this modern day storyline topic I want to talk about, but maybe in the future. But for now, thank you for watching. As always, keep moving forward, lass. See ya.
Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none.